Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our horizontal planners for the next week in September. And I've got these mod liners here ready to go, as well as some washi tapes I may use, and these sticker books which I'll pull from. So this is the second week of the September Plannable Challenge, and this week's theme is Coming Up Apples. So if you'd like to participate, go ahead and post your spreads up on Instagram using the hashtag PlannableSeptember2022. We'd love to see what you come up with. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay down some wax paper and we will get started with the design. I have these two books here which I think will be good for this theme. There's a lot of apples here in this painterly collage one. I'm just going to flip through and see what all else is in here real quick, and I just pulled a couple of things out that I definitely think I will want to incorporate, and I'll just put those to the top for now as I seek out the main event, which will be those apples. I do have something in mind for this spread, and as you can see I'll be using all of those small apples to make that happen. I also remember that there were some apples here in this Fresh Start teacher sticker book from last year, and I'm excited to see how I might be able to use some of those stickers in here as well. But my first idea was to actually do something I thought was going to be pretty good, but as I started laying it in, I kind of changed my mind. But I was thinking that I would actually build out a giant apple out of the little apples. I think, like I said, it could have been good, but it was just looking a little bit too uniform as far as, you know, all the apples pretty much look the same. And I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood for it, even though I think it would be a very good spread. So if you need an idea for your spread, that could be one of them. But like I said, for me, I put it on the sheet and it just wasn't working for me at the time. So I decided to pivot and do something else. You Friends fans would know about pivot. Anyway, so I decided to pivot the design and kind of take the idea of coming up apples a little bit more literally by having the apples come up from the bottom. Anywho, still thinking about the pivot. So I'm putting in the apples coming up from the bottom, kind of like they're being tossed up from the bottom. That's the idea I'm going for. So they're kind of random, you know, changing the orientation of them and having some close and some not so close, just kind of up and down and all around, and kind of coming from all areas there in the corners and then in the middle there, so that I will still have plenty of room to plan functionally there on Thursday, which is really the main reason that I'm being so, you know, careful about where I'm placing the apples at this point. And as I'm putting that in, I'm thinking, okay, let's see if I can make some functional space even over the decor. So I'm going to use that one box sticker that I pulled, the colorful box, and cut it in half so I can make it go a little bit farther, have it coming off the sides, and then wrap those apples kind of in and around it as well. And now I'm back into the center, just trying to get some good feels here on how this might work out. Again, just trying to make more of a tossed apple feel. I have that one giant apple, which I think I'll use for a cluster up there, since a majority of the decor is going to be here at the bottom with the apples. So I'll be trying to look for some things to add in up here at the top that are both functional and colorful and kind of perpetuate the theme a little bit more at the top. So I'm just pulling out some items I think I might be able to incorporate here, and again setting to the top till I figure out how they're going to work in. Just looking through everything. I think I'm going to limit the color palette on this guy. It's going to be just red and green. That's the main colors I'm going to be focused in on here. I had that quote laid down earlier, but there was just too much color in there to make it work, I think, in the limited color palette I want to work with here. So I put that back and am now just bringing in only things in the red or green family. I really want to cover up that Project Do area on those colorful boxes I pulled, but I don't like how this is looking really, with the red and the green and the green and the red headers on top, so we'll see if that stays. I did find this one large box sticker that, you know, it's kind of hard to use in a horizontal planner, so I'm just going to cut it down and find a space maybe I can put it in here on the spread so I get a little bit more of that green. And yeah, here's where I'm just like, no, that is not my favorite. So let's try something else. I thought maybe I could layer these two together and cover it up that way. And I like that actually. I think that worked pretty well. For the most part, I was staying away from mixing the red and the green together, but if it was subtle enough, like the paper clip and the skinny border there on the box, I did it. But if it was like a real strong box of, you know, red and another one of green, I kind of shied away from that because I felt like that was a little too, I don't know, maybe Christmassy. The vibe just wasn't where I wanted it to be. So for the most part, I pretty much stuck the clusters together in a somewhat mono color situation. And I feel like I need a few more things up here at the top, so I decided to start trying out the washi tapes I pulled and see where I can bring in some color that way. I thought maybe layering in this dot washi would be kind of cute, the black, since the apples have like this black drawn line, almost like a doodle line in them, so it kind of brings in the black that way, and of course the black lines on the actual layout. I thought I would do some layering with that. Again, I was thinking of maybe trying the red and the green with the dot pattern, but just was not liking the combination of the red and the green together. It just, I don't know, the two strong solid colors just was not working for me in this theme, so we'll figure something out. Just gonna go through that Fresh Start book and see if I can find some more boxes to bring in. There isn't any of that green in the color scheme of the Fresh Start, but there is the red, so we'll see if I can grab a few more red boxes since I don't have very many of those at this point. And I'm going to relocate this larger box so it's not too symmetrical with the red box on the side, and put this one at the top instead. I'm really trying to make that dot washi with the green work. I think it's good, but there's something I'm not liking. I don't know if it's the dot pattern being a little too busy because I have all those little apples, you know, too many little things getting too detailed, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is as I look at it, but we'll see what else we can make happen here with these washis in a second. Keep looking for focus boxes and things that might help fill out the spread a little bit more as well. So I pulled out the washi that had more of a light grid pattern on it, and I thought, you know, that feels better, I think, because I really don't know why that feels better. It's a little less busy to me, a little bit more organized than the dot pattern. So we're going to try it. We're going to try it. And then happy accident, I laid that green washi over top, kind of layered it like you see there, just to get the sizing right as I cut it down. And I found that I really liked that inline washi overlay instead of like doing the staggered overlay. So that is what we ended up doing on this spread, and I really feel like I will do that again in the future. So kind of a new, fresh look at how maybe to try to use washi tape. It's just two colors, but I really liked the way that they layered together and had that little bit of overlap where the green and the grid go together, but then they have each their own separate areas on each side. That was a little happy accident, and I really did like how that turned out. And I keep, again, trying to use the red and the green together and just find that it's just not doing it for me. So I put that one there, which I think I like the header placement covering up the bullet points in there, but I'm definitely rethinking the green and the red together. So I have a little bit extra of that grid washi that I'd cut off, and I just thought maybe I would layer that at the top and maybe at the bottom. And then I thought, well, I might as well try to do the same thing here with a little bit of green overlay as well. So we'll just cut a little sliver of the green and then lay that again, kind of overlapping, and see how that looks. And I love it. I think that looks really good. It helps balance the spread out a little bit at the top and the bottom. And then I replaced that green header out and put in the red one, which made me feel a lot better about that. And then just had that green paper clip stuck in there for a little pop of color, but nothing too overwhelming. Over here with that green box, I had layered the red and the green together, which wasn't as bad because it wasn't as strong of a green box because of the line outline. So that, I think, worked. I just replaced it with one that says assignment. We'll see if I make adjustments to that even more so as we go. And I did feel like I needed a few more apples here in the center to kind of make this look a little bit more alive. And then I found one more green box that I think I can incorporate here. I like it layered in with the apple. I feel like we need a little bit more apple here in this lower right corner, or kind of mid right corner. I'm going to keep the red box there and again try to layer the boxes so it has a little bit of symmetry with the layered boxes over in the left top corner. And then add that circle sticker there to cover up the rest of the header I don't like. And I think that that works. Again, I wasn't really loving the mix of the green and the red, but for some reason with the way that I have that there, I think it works a lot better there in that lower corner versus just having it on its own. And I have a bunch of these leftover quote stickers that I cut out of, I think, another Apple theme that I did. So I thought I'd bring those in a little bit here just to add some text and quotes to the spread. And so really isn't any, like main quote to focus in on. I think that just gives a little bit of extra something to the spread. Especially on those apples that are kind of standalone on the spread, not part of the main group. And all right, I think we've got a really good base here, so let's go ahead and start moving things over. I originally thought I was going to need to white out the lines behind it, but the grid, I don't know how this happened, but the grid lines happened to just butt right up against the lines on the spread. So it was like the grid line followed exactly where the line was already on the spread, so you couldn't really even see it behind the grid washi. So it worked out where I didn't even have to white out any of the lines. I didn't bother doing anything like that with the apples just because they already have that fine drawn look to them, so I figured a little bit of background lines won't really be that distracting. And plus the red is a pretty deep tone that's hard to see through, so just left those as is. And instead of trying to roll these stickers off, because hardly any of them are touching and they're all small, so it would take me forever to do a roll off on this, I'm just going to try to align them up as I go and then, move things over in sections. So you'll see how that happens. And I'm going to trim out any of the overhang and try to save those for use somewhere else on the spread, so any of those leftover apple pieces, just to kind of give a little bit more fullness to the spread. And working in this corner now. Well, like I said, kind of line things up and then move them over one by one. I figure that'll be the easiest way. This one got a little bit off, but that's okay. Can easily make an adjustment. Looking a little bit cluttery though. We'll see. We'll see what we end up doing there. And again, saving the trimmings. I'm going to shift this guy in a little bit. I just felt like it would be nicer kind of inset. And we'll move over the washi on this side. There's a little bit of washi tape caught on the edge there that I needed to pull off so it wouldn't have a bump. And then we'll move over the cluster here at the top. And then we'll move over the box sticker as well once I get these preliminary apples in, the ones that I know pretty much where they're going to go. That way it'll be easier to make the proper placement. And just trying to get this one right on center so the pages are easier to cut. And just finishing out the rest of these apples, again moving them over one by one. And here we will separate out the pages. There's quite a bit of overlap in certain holes and things, so I will have to trim out some of that excess sticker overlapping in the disc holes. And I'm just using my precision cutter for this. And I have a little cutting mat in the background, which I use pretty much in every video. If you're interested in any of those items that I use on a regular basis, most of them are in the description under my favorite things. So things like the wax paper and the cutting tools, the cutting board, things like that will be down there. And okay, I think we are all set. Last thing we need to do is add in my checklists, and I'll be using these mod liners here in red and green. And once I'm done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. Also too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye!